Perfect. Yes, awesome. Welcome back. Welcome back to Live Lifts. We are on the penultimate stream. We have got this stream today and then one more for the farmer's carry maxing out. So today, welcome back. Hiya mates, you all right? Welcome back, mate. So welcome back to Live Lifts. Today you have joined the max out chin-up stream. And we're going to talk a lot about chin-ups today because they are the most neglected exercise in the gym in the modern era. Classic exercise, very important. Today we're maxing out. So if you've caught the other streams that we've done max out on squat, max out on bench, max out on deadlift. We've done max out on shoulder press. Today we're going to do max out on chins, and then we're going to do max out on farmer's carry. So that completes a full body of work. All the live streams that we've done from phase 1, preparation, building up, phase 2 principles that we introduced, all the basic compound movements to get strong, all functional, all technical, everybody can do them. And then we are finishing off in the final phase now with maxing out, and we're including all our main lifts that we've done, including a carrying exercise, which is largely neglected and easily forgotten about, and the chin-ups, which are largely neglected and forgotten about. So the reason why I'm doing this is because we want to do it properly. And a lot of guys and girls come into the gym, people, let's say, come into the gym and they just want to see how heavy they can go and they start picking up injuries, and it's a problem. And they don't develop the technical aspects, which are essential for longevity of training. So you've got to think long term. So how to max out properly. We are going to do the sciencey bit as well. We've got the guidelines with us. Now remember, as I said in the other streams, they are guidelines. So they give the general population a guide to achieve something. And if you have your own little tweaks that you have done that work for you, I want to hear about them. Absolutely fantastic. I certainly don't agree with every single thing that's written there, and we'll talk more about that today as well, and how to do it properly and how to go through a session. And some of these streams are over an hour or an hour and a half. So even though you're doing 1 rep maxing, they can be the length of a normal training session if you're doing it properly. So we're just doing body weight for now. So as you know, in the other streams that we've done, I normally do the warm-up off screen, but during these max out days, I want to show you how to do it from nothing, like 0 on the bar, 0 on the belt, and we're going to slowly build up. So I've done some basic warm-up off screen, which is warming up the shoulders, stretching the lats out, warming up the abs as well, use the abs during chin-ups. Very, very good. The chin-ups is an amazing exercise to build your abs, actually. If you're looking to get bigger, thicker, more masculine abs, if you're a guy and you want that kind of thick, heavy look in the waist, which not building a gut, but building that density and that thickness through the abs, which is really good for the lower back and preventing lower back pain. The chin-ups are the most fantastic exercise. Weighted chin-ups, especially with the chain, because it'll pull through your core and it'll pull through your pelvis. And it's also fantastic for decompressing the lower back. As in every stream, I always talk about how do I feel after the previous session. We did shoulder press. We broke an all-time record of my own. I'm really happy with the results on my 1 rep max days so far. However, I feel like I've got like a little stiffness in my back. It's not from the session. I think I just slept funny last night and I've just woke up with a bit of like stiffness. So I've had some stretching. I had one of the girls at the gym stand on my back and loosen up the facet joint. I've spoken in previous streams about the facet joint and the importance of having a healthy lower back and doing hyperextensions. But I've got a bit of a stiff facet joint. It will ease off in a few days, it's fine. And by doing chin-ups today, loading up my body weight with the chain, pulling through my body, that will also help to decompress my back and decompress the facet joint. So it's beautiful in a way. It's got the treatment as well as the strengthening rehab. So it's a little bit tight, but it's eased off since I've done some stretching and stuff. And it's on one side and it feels like a facet joint because it occurs with movement and rotation. But it's absolutely fine. Let's get a little bit of weight on and then we'll start to build up. And we'll talk about the principles of how we're going to do 1 rep max today as well. So What do we predict we can do? I weigh 100 kilos, so our starting point is 100 kilos. That's why it's different to every other exercise as well, where you kind of start with nothing on the bar. But in this, you have to start with body weight, essentially. So we're already doing 100 kilos. So we're going to go up to 110. We're going to put a 10 kilo weight on. So I predict, what was I doing in the previous chin-up streams? I had about 30, I think I had 30 kilos, 35 kilos on the chain. So that's like about 135. We were doing 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 4 reps. So let's say prediction, which doesn't correlate, but we could probably do, if I could get 40 kilos on the belt today or 50 kilos on the belt and chin up 150 kilos, that's body weight plus disc. Pretty happy with that. So we'll target that, but there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to achieve it. That's why we do 1 rep max testing. A lot of it is trial and error, guys, and even experienced people like myself. Sometimes you do have to do a bit of trial and error, a little bit of guesswork. The key to it, though, is to build up slowly. And we'll talk about that in a second, of how to build up slowly and really titrate and accurately find your 1 rep max as well, because it can be tricky. If you saw the squat stream and the bench stream, it can be really, really tricky. Because on one particular weight, you can be really, 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 really strong, and then you'll put like a 1 kilo on and you'll just fail. Big stretch. 1, 2, 3. 4 reps is enough on that. We're not going to fatigue at the moment, but we do want to stimulate the body to know that a heavier weight is coming. Right, so, whew. Right, what are we on now? So we'll go up in 10s. I think 10s is healthy. So we'll go up in 10s. We'll go 110, 120, 130, 40, 50. As we get to the higher weight, we will change the amount that we jump up by. Let's say I get to 130, I might go up to 135 or 140 or 145, or 135, 137 and a half, 140, 142. The higher the weight you want to max out on, sometimes a smaller increment you're going to need. The common mistake is people will just think and try to jump up by a full 20 kilos when they're already quite close to their maximum. Or, you know, let's say they're already lifting 95% of their ability, they'll try to put on 15 kilos, which jumping up by that much sometimes isn't possible, sometimes it is. But you don't want your technique to falter as well. And that's the main thing. Right, let's do, we'll go through some principles now, how to max out properly. We'll get another 10. We could do with some thinner plates, actually. Let me try and find a thinner plate. So there's a couple of 10s here that are quite thin. This one's thin as well. I think 3 10s is still going to be slimmer than one of those fat CrossFit 20s. Good. And then we'll start putting 5 minutes on the clock as well. I will talk to you through about everything, all the rest periods. We have covered these principles in the other streams as well, but I don't know when people are going to be watching this. Let's assume they're going to watch it on catch up, or the algorithm might throw this up to your feed in 2 or 3 years. So if you've caught this impromptu, that's why we're going through the principles of 1 rep max in every stream. And don't be afraid to try them, but you will need to have done some substantial work beforehand to get used to the exercises, to build up the techniques, and to build some core strength. A couple of weight increments as well. Whew. Right. Nice and loose. Put timer on the clock as well. Awesome. Thumbs up on the video, guys, that always helps. So we do the 20 rep set. To do 2 to 3 reps. Maybe even 2 will be enough. We really want to be getting out that plus 150. So you have to have a target in mind, but remember what we spoke about in the other streams as well, which we'll talk about as well today. Your multiple rep max doesn't generally cross over into what you can do for 1 rep. You will honestly surprise yourself how strong you are once you're properly geared up and warmed up and built up. Don't rush in. Take the time to build up. Right, we do another set and then we do the sciencey bit, because it is interesting when you put the theory into practice as well. So what did I warm up today? I warmed up the abs, we warmed up the lower back, we warmed up the shoulders, we warmed up the chest as well, because the chest is used a little bit in the chin-up. It does work and help to stabilize the shoulder joint. And most importantly, that people forget, we warmed up the biceps. Biceps, this is a fantastic, underrated exercise to hit the abs, as I've mentioned, and also to hit the biceps. Your biceps will grow more than doing curls, for example. And the reason why is because curls is an open chain exercise. Your wrists are moving around freely in space, basically. So that it does hit the biceps. It's an open chain. However, when you're doing it in a chin-up, your wrists and your grip is fixed to the bar and your body is doing the movement. So you put the biceps into a compound movement, contraction, under gravity, loaded up. So it'll hit the biceps way bigger, way more stimulus than doing any amount of curl, bar curl. I still do the curls, don't get me wrong. You've seen them on the channel. Oh, make sure it's all nice. But biceps really get a good workout doing this as well. That's why you've got to be quite strategic with your sessions, because if you've had a heavy bicep session, the previous session, then when you come to do chin-ups, if you're wondering why you're quite fatigued, it's because your forearms or your biceps probably still recovering. Okay, big stretch. Yeah, 3's just right. Feeling fresh. So we'll go up to 130 now. Let's say I'm about 100 kilos at the minute. We'll go up to 130 and we'll just be doing 2 reps. And from there, we'll see what we can do. Woo. Ooh, right. We need to put some time on the clock as well, don't we? Ooh. All right there. Yeah. Let's have a look at this. So we just put, let's say we've been faffing for a minute here, so we put 4 minutes on the clock. Then we'll have a strict 5-minute rest period now between the rest of our sets. Whew. If I put that there so you guys can see it. I like to do everything authentic on this channel. Uncut. Oh. Right, let's do a little bit of this. Ooh. Right, so we have based not everything. We've done some research reviews on this channel, and we have spoke about the principles throughout. Some of the evidence and research is based on articles that we've reviewed, and also some of the guidelines from the American College of Sports Medicine. So if you've done a proper PT course, like a really good licensed one that's accredited, they may have introduced this to you. They should have. If you haven't, if you've done fit.com or somewhere else that's just trying to kind of get you through and turn you into a personal trainer, you may not be aware of the principles, and you may not be aware of some of the science and what things are based on. It is a good book. In some parts it's a bit gibbery, and there's some things that you might need to search for. But it's written in a way that is applicable to the general population, and it's a way of finding the optimal amount of exercise and healthy activity that can give people a good quality and quantity of life as well, that is achievable and everyone can do. So anyway, without further ado, let's just go through some one rep max principles, how to 1 rep max properly. So essentially it says here that norms, as in normal strength testing results of 1 rep max, are based on resistance lifted divided by the body mass, so how much you weigh, and the amount lifted, so kilogram to kilogram. So if you're 100 kilos and you're lifting, if you weigh 100 kilos and you're lifting 100 kilos, then you're lifting a 1-to-1, so you're lifting one of your body. They have worked these maximal strength testing figures out for bench press, leg press, shoulder press, and they've done leg extension as well. And we spoke about it in previous streams about why I agree and disagree on some of those choices of exercise. So essentially, there's tables in this book. This is the 7th edition. So essentially we've got upper body strength and leg strength, essentially lower body strength. So you can look at your age and your percentage of how much you can lift for your age and your weight, and you can see how strong you are in terms of the general population. So remember, we do everything on this channel naturally, so we are more likely to fit into these categories. If you're doing things incorrectly, or as in taking drugs, and you're being stupid and you're taking steroids and you're damaging your health, then it's probably not for you, because you're of course going to exceed these tables, and you're also going to pay the price for your health in the long term as well. So so they represent the following basic steps for 1 rep max or any multiple rep max testing, but you have to have a familiarization or a practice session. So we've done that throughout this season. We've done 7 months now. This is our 7th or 8th month almost of doing it. First, number 1, the subject. So how to 1 rep max. Number 1, the subject should warm up by completing a number of sub-maximal repetitions. So I do emphasize sub-max training on this channel all the time. It is Sunday today. We do sub-max Sundays, but today is maximum Sundays because we're doing maximum rep it out. So number 2, determine the 1 rep max or any multiple rep max within 4 trials and rest periods of 3 to 5 minutes. And just on the bell, there's our 5 minutes. So we're just following these step by step. So let's do a second set, and then we'll go through point number 3. So we'll go for 30 now. I'm building up nice and steady. So we were doing this last time for reps. So we should be able to definitely get, we'll go for 1 now, because we've still got all of our power and strength for the higher weight. I'll be interested to see what we can do. Might surprise myself again. Right, let's get this together. Yeah, smooth. That's beautiful. That feels just right. You know that you've got the weight increment just right. That's the main thing. Whew. So now we'll have the full 5 minutes. Sound. 5 minutes on the clock. Whew. Oh, feel good. Oh, yeah, that felt good. 130. So we were doing that for reps last time, so I'm really happy with that. So it's a nice gauge. It doesn't tell you exactly what you can do, but it's a nice gauge of how your body's feeling. Right, so essentially, so number 2, 3 to 5 minutes rest. We have had 3 to 5 minutes rest throughout all of the season. Usually I take 3 minutes. And I mentioned in the previous stream as well, the duration of time needed between sets in strength when you're trying to get stronger and bigger is 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. That's the hardest thing to get used to. If you're used to doing quite high energy aerobic sessions where it's reps and minimal rest and change exercise and circuit type training, it's going to be very hard to adapt to the amount of time that you need to recover. But eventually, as the weight goes up and as you get stronger, you'll come to appreciate why they have recommended and why you do need that 3 to 5 minutes rest. And you'll see that when you watch the Olympics. You know, they do a lift, they go backstage, and they disappear for 5 minutes. They come out, they've got to do another one. They're allowed to have that time to recover. Very important. Number 3, select an initial weight that is within the subject's perceived capacity, which is 50 to 70% of capacity. So we've done that today. So if I weigh 100. I perceive that I could probably do about 150. So we've worked up through the warm-up. It's a little bit off in this situation because my target is about 150. Ideally 50% of that is 75 kilos, but I already weigh 100. So we're a little bit off. So let's say we warmed up at about, we probably warmed up about 60, 75%. That's fine. As long as my increments now, going up in tens, or whatever weight I go up by, are staged up to the maximum. Number 4, resistance is progressively increased by 2.5. Remember, 2.5 kilos, guys, that's all you need. Just a little, you know, the 1.25, sometimes that, or even the 2.5 is enough. So from 2.5 to 20 kilos, there have been times when I've jumped up by 20 kilos, but for most of these days when I'm doing the strength work, I've gone up by 10 or 15, and then I've gone up by 5s, and you can see that in the other streams as well. So 2.5 to 20 kilos until the subject cannot complete the selected repetitions. All repetitions should be performed at the same speed of movement and the range of motion to instill consistency between the trials. That's fine, we do things pretty consistently around here on this channel. 5, the final weight lifted successfully is recorded as the absolute 1 rep or the multiple rep max. And we'll speak more about that, about what translates. Let me just do a quick stretch because we are going to be ready for the next set. Okay, get a bit of chalk. Whew. I think we are. Just prepare this bar as well. Literally, the only thing I'm using is the belt and the chain and some chalk. So your journey to get strong as a natural may take a little longer, but it's well worth it. The benefits are much better. You all right, mate? Yeah, well warmed up now. Yeah. So we've got 30 seconds, so we should probably just start preparing the weights. We're going up to 40, aren't we? Wow. Yeah, 40. We need another 10. And then we'll try. Sound. Be easier if we try, when we get to 50, we could just use 225s. If we get to 50. So, feeling good though, feeling strong. Excellent recovery. See how this feels. This will be a season's best as well. Come on. In one rep. Getting wide now, isn't it? Yeah, come on. Nice and deep. Yes. Whew. That was good. That was good. It felt smooth actually. It's heavy. I had a bit of a head rush. Whew. Don't fall off the box. Right, 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, that felt good. Full range of movement as well. Full range of movement. We need a couple of 25s, don't we? We're going up to 50. Oh, no, I think another 10 kilo jump I don't think is realistic. So let's go to 45 and then we'll go 50. I think that's going to be more realistic. How can I get this to be as optimized? I just have to use these 4 plates again, don't I? The width of the plates is always going to be a problem. Ideally you need slimmer plates, but there's none here today. Unless I get that thin 20. Yeah, there's a thin 20 here. Yeah, we'll use this thin 20. It's slightly thinner anyway. It's the best we can hope for. 20. Use the thinnest of these 10s. So now, putting that principle into practice, the heavier I get, I go up by a slightly smaller increment. It's realistic to do 50, but it's not realistic to jump up by that amount immediately. charge up. As you saw in the shoulder press stream and the squat stream, certain weights are achievable, and the bench as well. So you can hit the target weight, but you sometimes have had to fail and then retry and retry and retry, and you can achieve it. So 20, 30, 45. Got the right weight ready. Whew. Feeling good? I'm looking forward to starting the conditioning. Need to strip down a little bit. Oh, that's another thing I was going to mention actually. If you are playing a sport, if you're playing sport like you're a football, a rugby player that does not have a weight class, so like boxing or combat sports or horse racing, they've usually got like weight classes. So for that, of course, you'll need to get into a weight class and speak to your coach or your specialist who will coach you to doing that. But if you are in a sport that you don't have a weight class and it's for you to determine how heavy you are, what you're going to find is if you're trying to build strength as a footballer or you're trying to build strength as a rugby player, it's easy to pile on the pounds and get quite big. But there's going to come a point in your season where you're carrying a lot more muscle mass and you need to stay quite dynamic. You've got to stay functional and keep your speed and your athleticism as well. And it's going to be harder to do that when you put more weight on. That is why we introduced the conditioning phase. So although as a natural, it's fantastic to get bigger and stronger, you've also got to work really, really hard to carry that extra mass as well. So I spoke to guys here that play rugby at a really good level, and they've said, look, if I'm squatting 160, 170 for reps and I get bigger, I have to reduce that weight, working at a lower percentage of their maximum and condition themselves as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. So what I'll do from this, one of the other reasons why I'm doing this as well is because then once I know my percentages at a higher weight, at the highest weight that I can lift, I can then accurately calculate what 70% of my 1 rep max would be. And you can't get that by doing your multiple rep maxes to failure, which we'll speak about after I've done this set. 45 kilos here, or 145, which is including my body weight, about 100 kilos. I might even be a little bit more than 100 kilos now. I might be like 101, 102. I need to weigh myself at the very end of the season. Right, let's get this loaded up. Right, so we'll put the 20 on. Sandwich. Oof. Nice and tight. Good technique. Chin above the bar. Good breathing. Make sure the chain's not catching any bits. Ooh. Come on. Come on. Big pull, chin above the bar, big breath, big stretch, abs engaged. Oop. Yes! That was a good idea to go up by 5. Ooh. Oops. The big weights are coming in. Whew. Right. A little next section, which is very important. I'll talk about why chins are largely neglected nowadays as well, the benefits of them. So, essentially the health benefits, they have to link doing exercise and why we're doing this into health benefits. So, of course, bone mass, osteoporosis, thinning bones as you get older, essentially. We spoke about that in the last live stream. Glucose tolerance to keep away type 2 diabetes, healthy bones and tendons, so preventing injuries and rips and tears and damage, and also healthy shoulders as well, rotator cuff work, lower risk of lower back pain, ironically, and making sure you don't have a problem that's just lingering around. So keep yourself nice and healthy, nice and strong. The ability to carry out activities of daily living. So to be able to achieve your activities of daily living and do things functionally is very important, because at least they're like feeling good, being able to do things for yourself. So that's why a lot of the exercises that we do on this channel are functional. They're part of everyday movements that you can achieve and do. And fat-free mass, of course, doing the conditioning phase, increasing your metabolic rate at rest, and weight management, absolutely fantastic. So, what does it say specifically about that? So the ACSM has melded terms of muscular strength and muscular endurance, I quote, into a category termed muscular fitness. So this is in relation to total health-related fitness and the amount and quality of exercises needed to maintain and keep fit throughout your life as well. So muscular strength, what is muscular strength? Muscular strength refers to the ability of the muscle to exert force, so that's what we're doing here. And secondly, muscular endurance is the ability to, the muscle's ability to do repeated repetitions, successive exertions for many repetitions until fatigue. So usually they say 3 or less reps is going to build strength, and 12 or more is going to build your endurance, and a lot of programs are based around that. So, and it says a little bit about being able to do multiple rep maxes to determine what you can also do it as a multiple rep max. So you might want to do, so today if we put on 50, and that's our 1 rep max, I might want to drop that down to 30 and just hit it for 4, 6 or 8 reps and see what I can do. Right, I just need to get in the zone and prepare for the next set. So we can do, get these 50s on. It's going to be tough, this one will be tough. – 30 seconds, get these weights loaded up. This would be an all-time record, actually. 2, 1. Sound. Come on. Damn, that's heavy. Damn, that's a lot. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Woo, what a head rush. Wow. That was a head rush. Wow. I nearly passed out. I felt myself going. I was fighting hard to get that circulation back to my brain, then I tell you what, I nearly passed out. But we did it. Woo! I nearly fainted. Wow. Told you it's good fun. I might need a spotter for the next one if I fall backwards with that weight on me. We did it. New record. Shaky. Wow. Whew. Oh, I felt myself fighting to stay alive. I nearly passed out. Oh my God, I felt myself wobbling. Woo, like a jelly man. Oh my days. Ah. 5 minutes on the clock. That was smooth though, I didn't fail, did I? So I'm gonna do one. It says to go by 2.5 kilos, a minimum of 2.5, so we'll try 52.5. There's no way I can put any more than that without death. I'm gonna need a spotter though. I'm gonna need a spotter. Or this needs to come back a little bit because I need to have something underneath me. I'm gonna faint and collapse. Oh, I'll have to get. Can I just spot me? Oh, that's decompressed my lower back, though. I tell you. Let's just do another quick stretch. Yeah. So I hit a new record, that's amazing. All-time record, I've never done 50 kilo chin-up before, even for one. I think I've done like 40 something, 45, but for reps many years ago. Ah. Yeah, I don't want to faint. It's the big deep breath in and holding it, and then you pull through and you've got increased intra-abdominal and intrathoracic pressure, and you get a rush of blood to the head, and then suddenly the pressure drops when you release, and you just go a bit wobbly. That's my physiological understanding of things anyway. Definitely a rush of blood to the head. So, people don't do chin-ups anymore. It's just, if you've got a personal trainer and he gives you a program and it doesn't have chin-ups in it, sack him or sack her, Do not pay for a program that doesn't have chin-ups in, or introduction to chin-ups. And we're talking natural body weight, underhand or overhand, pull-ups, chin-ups, whatever you want to do. Not muscle-ups, not momentum-based CrossFit type rubbish. I'm talking pure, strict strength. There is no compensation. You cannot exchange chin-ups out for machine-based pull-downs. With the machine-based pull-downs, you don't get the same level of activation. You don't activate your abs as much. You lose a bit of that initial pull because the slack or the reel and pulley will take some of that load. And what you don't get is that full true activation of the scapulothoracic joint and the very delicate muscles of the rotator cuff. That's your infraspinatus, your subscapularis. They work a lot to hold the scapula to the back, your thoracic spine, your thoracic wall, and they also help to rotate that shoulder joint to open up to give you more space, and you just won't get that as well or as much naturally with a machine as you would doing it using a pure bar. So better for the biceps as well. You're going to hit your biceps a lot more. If you're gripping on the machine, you'll probably feel your forearms get more of a pump, but on this, you're hitting pure bicep, pure bicep, rotator cuff, lat, absolutely fantastic. And they've switched it out because it's probably easier and it's lazy training, it's lazy exercise. Don't get me wrong, machine-based lat pull down has a role, it has a place, and I still do it. I do it when I'm conditioning because it's really good to get reps out and really good to get a condition, but it's not enough to really build that healthy and pure natural strength. You've got to do this. As well as the benefits for the abdominal wall, which I mentioned earlier. Getting really, really nice thick abs. Right, we've got a minute. We're gonna have to ask for a spotter. Right, we're gonna have to just ship this off. Put that down there. Clear the decks. And clear the decks. So we can have space for safety. We'll try this. We'll give this a few attempts. Whew. Because this is definitely going to be edging close to our maximum. 17, 16. If I fall off, falling from a height, strapped to a weight. Kai, have you got a break? Have you got a break now? Have you got a break now? Sound. 30 seconds, awesome. I think that's sound, isn't it? You can forgive me for 30 seconds. I need a spotter for this. If I faint, I have to call an ambulance. I need a spot, right? Because the last rep that I did, right, I felt a bit like, I got a bit of a head rush afterwards and I felt a bit wobbly, a bit like fainty because of the rush of blood to the head. And because I'm strapped to the weight, if I fall, I'm gone, right? So the best thing to do, if I get a bit wobbly,
so what are you doing?
just chin up, yeah, just don't let me hit the floor. I don't know, I might fall back or fall forward, but if you can hold the weight and stabilize the weight.
While you're doing it?
Not while I'm doing it, no. Just let me do the rep, but then if I get a bit faint, just hold the weight. If you just hold the weight.
I'll try.
Let me fall, I'll be fine. As long as,
As long as the weights are fine.
as long as the weights are fine. We'll see, we'll see. Let's see if we can get it up. See what we can do. Because the weight's going to be the one that falls first. It's going to drop. Got a bit more beneath us as well now. Feet on the ground. We'll see. No. All right. That's the head rush bit. But honestly, you should have done the last rep. I was like wobbling everywhere. Right. So I failed that rep, but it's not a problem. I'll try again. Yeah, I need 5 minutes. Felt good though. Felt good. I might be able to do that. Whew. We'll have another 5 minutes. Could go up that. So you're trying 52. We'll give it 5 minutes. That initial positive phase of pulling actually felt quite smooth, and that is actually a really good feedback. If that initial phase is too difficult or doesn't feel smooth, it feels a bit juddery, cogwheel, a bit rigid, then you know you're not going to do it. If you feel quite smooth, then there is still ample feedback for the brain there to recruit. And I felt that when I did the really heavy squat, I could feel my negative phase as I was squatting down. I could feel it quite juddery, and it was shaky because the lengthening of the muscles and the descent, the body wasn't used to that level of feedback, and it was all over the place. It hadn't had that input before to recruit. But that initial, I think that's possible. We might be able to do 52 kilos, 52 and a half. But I need a little bit of a break. We're going to take 5 minutes. So what did we do? We did 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 145, 150, and then we've just tried 152.5. That's pretty good. That's how to do it properly. Doing it properly. Have a quick water break. I'll be back in a moment. seconds to go. Ah. Come on, we can do it. Okay. Come on. Oh, my lats feel pumped. Come on. Ah. Come on. Get right underneath this. Just don't want to collapse. Head rush, man. Wow. Ready? Yeah. You just grab the weight and I'll try. And if I fall, just catch me. Let's see what you can do. Yeah, you're strong, boy. Nah, it's not. It'll be fine. Ooh. Come on, see if we can get it. We might just try for one rep, that's all. Come on, big pull. Ooh. I'm going to do that, you know. That is so close. It's there. It's definitely there. It's definitely there. I'm definitely doing this. See how you get further and further. And also, in all of the one rep max days that I've done, including deadlift, including the chin-ups now, you'll notice I'm always controlling the negative phase. So even on the one rep max days where it's like, yeah, I'll just lift it and actually, I'm disciplined throughout the entire range of movement, because then again, it's reproducible. Same range of movement, same speed, both phases. So here, putting that into practice now, that first time I attempted 52.5 kilos, that initial pull phase, I got like a quarter of the way, but it felt smooth. Remember I said it felt really, really smooth. So we've had 5 minutes rest. We've tried again, and that time I got like 3/4 of the way there. That was pretty close to a rep. So again, smooth positive, 3/4 of the way, and then smooth negative, even though I'd failed the rep. So this is our third trial now. We're going to be a third attempt again on the 52.5, and I think that's probably about accurate. So I think that'll be what we achieve. But we'll have another rest and see what we can do. 3.5 minutes. thinking through the physiology now, right? If I feel lightheaded because of the rush of blood and then the sudden drop, increase and then sudden drop in pressure, what's going to be best is if after I've done the negative phase, after I've achieved the rep, because thinking positive, I will achieve the rep, but I'm going to feel lightheaded, aren't I? So what I've got to do with the weight on me, I've got to squat down on the box. And what that will do is if I squat down, it will kink the arteries and veins in the legs and the knees, and then it will increase my pressure again and stabilize my pressure and stop me feeling faint. That's the theory. That's the theory. Because I'm thinking that's how we would treat patients with a low blood pressure, or if they've had a fainting episode due to low blood pressure. There's obviously lots of other medications you can give to increase the blood pressure. But initially, you just need to get the legs in the air or increase that vascular volume and the direction of the fluid to balance things, yeah. So I just don't want to fall off the box, loaded up with weight. I think we've had enough bloopers. We've had enough bloopers on this channel throughout the season. I don't want to be falling on my head. Right, we'll see what we can do. 5 seconds. Let's see if Kai's available. There's the alarm. Right, come on, we've got to do this now. 3rd attempt. Might be doing his set. Come on, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this, absolutely 100%. Those first 2 attempts were really, really good. Like, you just kind of know when something's achievable. It's within your grasp. No pun intended. Pun intended. Kai, I've had a think through some basic scientific knowledge that I possess. What I'm going to do is, when I've done the rep, I'm going to squat down on the box because it'll increase my pressure a little bit. So I'm going to be safe when I'm squatted down. So just stop me falling forwards or whatever. Just give me a hug. Whatever works, mate. So as long as I squat down, I know the weight is safe.
Straight onto the box.
Yeah, so I'm going to squat because that'll help to keep pressure up. It's just because you're like increasing so much and then you're releasing. Come on. Chin above the bar. Come on, big drive. You can do this. You can do this. Come on, all-time record. Just going to squat down, all right? But I might pass out. Be aware.
Come on, up, up.
Awesome. No, I'm fine. Good. Yeah. Woo! It worked. Nice one, mate. Yes! Hey? Sorry, mate. Yeah? Nice one, mate. You're the official judge. That counts, does it? Nice one, Kai. Kai said it counted. It counts. Yes! Woo! Yeah, squatting down works. Yeah. Squatting straight down afterwards. If you're in this situation, squatting down. Because what I'm saying is here, you've got 2 big vessels in your stomach and your chest. You've got your aorta and your vena cava. Now, the vena cava is more likely to be compressed because it's a vein. So whenever you're increasing and lifting something really, really heavy, it's more likely that the vein is going to be compressed before the artery gets compressed, purely because there's more muscles and collagen and rigidity in the artery wall, because you need your arteries to stay open, you see. But the veins will flatten out. So that if they flatten out because of the increase in pressure, it's like squeezing a pipe. So the flow will reduce, but the speed of flow will go up. If you imagine like you're pinching the end of a hose pipe. And that's from when you're pulling through and you've got the weight around your waist. So essentially then, I pull through, and then as I release my negative and come down, that pressure is relieved. So all the blood rushes again after there's been a cut-off or a reduction in the supply. So I get a reduced return of blood supply to the heart, which reduces the amount going to the brain, and then suddenly there's an increased amount of blood coming back to the heart, and then an increased amount going to the brain. So that's why I felt dizzy. But by squatting down like this straight afterwards, what I've then done is there's arteries in the back of the knee and veins in the back of the knee and veins and arteries in the back and the hip as well. So by bending your legs and knees, you've increased that pressure again so it's stable. That's the theory of it. Well, it seemed to work then anyway, because I knew I was going to get dizzy. But then by squatting down immediately, it completely went. But I'm really happy with that. That's an amazing day. That's a 52.5 kilo chin up, and that is 152 kilos because I weigh 100-ish. I weigh about 101, 102 kilos at the moment. So I'm really happy with that. Whew. Right, let's debrief. Wow. Oh, fantastic. Get down steady, nice and steady. Oh, wow. Right. Ooh. Bring that down a little bit. Ooh. Right, awesome. Thank you for joining another live stream. I think that was amazing. We've got one more to do. So the one we're going to do next is the farmer's carry. I wanted to include a carrying exercise. So we're going to finish off with the farmer's carry. And we're going to do that. I think the best thing to do that is a set distance. So I think I've heard some of the competitions and some of the standard is usually about 20 meters or so. I think it's 10 meters or 20 meters. So I think if we mark out a 20-meter path and we can do as much as we can for the full 20 meters, I think that's a really good gauge of a carry and strength. So that we can standardize that. We'll do it. We'll try to do it for distance, of course, as quick as we can as well, as long as we've got the technique. So yeah, really good. Look, what did we do today? We did 1 rep max chin-ups, which was fantastic. Chin-ups are a largely neglected exercise. People don't do them, and it's in the modern day at this time of recording. They may come back into fashion. I hope they do. I'm sure they will, and if they do, then we've got our fingers on the pulse, and we're on the cusp of the wave as always. But yeah, the chin-ups are absolutely amazing. They're absolutely brilliant. If done properly, they are really hard. So every exercise kind of has its difficulties. Like squat is the most demanding, but you get the most benefit and reward from it. It's the hardest one. Squat is really hard. So go light and learn the techniques and learn the principles and do the reps. Strengthen your core, strengthen your lower back, strengthen your glutes. Deadlift is probably the most technically difficult, although anyone can lift a weight. Getting the actual correct technique and posture is really, really difficult. Shoulder press requires technical familiarization, because you've got to get your head out the way and you don't want to give yourself an injury in the shoulder. Chin-ups has got its own challenges. You need a really strong core. It's going to be really, really hard initially to lift your own body weight. So what you may need is some assistance. There are things out there. People use rubber bands. There is a machine with like a platform on, and you can change the weight on, and it'll give you some assistance, and you can slowly work down that rack. It works on the reverse principle. Usually you increase the weight on machines, but this one you use less and less weight, because then you're getting less and less assistance, and it will help you do the chin up. Start with something like that. And then when it comes to body weight, obviously do your body weight for 1 rep, 2 reps, 3 reps, build up with your body weight to the point where then you will be able to use the chain and the belt. And when I was building up and learning, you may just honestly need to just use 1 kilogram, or a 1.25 kilo on the chain. And at the very start, hey, yeah, it might look a bit pathetic, but it's enough to stimulate you, and it's enough to make you grow and increase and improve your technique. So, and then soon, who knows, you might be able to do 50 kilos or 52.5 like we did today. So fantastic session. Thanks for joining the 1 rep max session for chin-ups. We've got one more to do, and I'm really happy with all the records that I've broken and all the progress that we've made. And we're feeling good, we're feeling healthy as well. That's the main thing. And it's fun, it should be fun, providing you don't faint. But anyway, awesome. Right, thanks a lot for joining the live stream. See you later. Stay strong.